Coming up on KUJH News, residents of Hutchinson forced to evacuate due to a wildfire. 2 local fire stations tell you how to prepare for potential wildfires in Lawrence. Student campaigns on campus reveal their plans for the future of KU.
And all of your forecasts for severe weather coming up. You're watching KUJH News.
From the University of Kansas, you're watching KUJH News.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Alex McLoone. Douglas County is under a tornado watch as we're expecting severe weather tonight. Jacob Asherman joins us with a quick look at the forecast.
Yeah, Alex, the first day of meteorological spring was this Monday, and you can see we're already getting things off to a bang. A tornado watch has been issued for our area in effect until 10 o'clock tonight. You can see the watch goes all the way down to Emporia, a little south of Emporia, all the way north up to the Missouri-Iowa border. Now, what we're looking for right now are thunderstorms to develop from a line from Concordia all the way down south to Wichita. We're keeping a close eye on storms. Right now, nothing is formed, but again, once severe thunderstorms do form, they're going to be capable of all types of severe weather. We're talking tornadoes, hail, damaging wind, as well as some flooding. Now again, a tornado watch means that conditions are favorable for the development of severe thunderstorms. We're not well, right now there are no tornado warnings in effect, but that could change in a couple hours. So I'm going to have more details coming up for your full severe weather forecast. Stay with us.
All right, thanks, Jacob. As we keep an eye on the tornado watch, Douglas County fire departments are gearing up for the dry conditions that spark wildfires. KUJH reporter Nicole Fye takes us inside the stations of 2 local fire departments that are planning for the potentially dangerous season.
For the Wakarusa Township Fire Department, it's a simple equation. Warm weather plus dry conditions and winds equals extreme fire danger.
The rural areas have far more wildland or brush grass fires where the citizens are burning. There's large areas that are being burned all at once.
Since February 16th, Douglas County has been in and out of red flag warnings. And while it makes for tremendous training scenarios for the department's new fire pup Cinder, it also makes for a higher need for firemen, volunteer and staff alike.
When springtime starts coming around, we start training. So we bring especially all of our new volunteers, we bring them in and we do wildland training with them. And then we start really going through our brush trucks.
But while it's out here in the rural areas that are the most at risk, that risk doesn't stop in the city limits.
Fire Marshal James King says it just makes for different challenges.
Well, on a daily basis, we come in, we'll check the weather conditions, the forecast for the day, we'll look at the rangeland fire danger index, and we'll make a determination, is this a burn or no burn day?
King says even something as small as a lit cigarette can trigger something big.
Conditions change actually within hours in either direction. So it's just being aware of the daily conditions.
Another equation both departments study, public awareness plus communication equals a job well done.
We just will run fires all day long if the community's not being proactive. So they take the first step in it, really.
Nicole Fye, KUJH News.
City and council fire departments urge those planning on fires to check weather conditions frequently and also check with their local departments for burn bans. From the burning fires to the men and women who extinguish them, first responders put themselves at risk every day when they go to work. But KUJH reporter Travis Calvin says firefighters face a risk in their own office.
It's a sight that's become synonymous with fire stations across the country. Firemen sliding down a pole from where they live, but that's actually a sight you won't find very often anymore. But why is that? The reason? Increased cancer and health risks from exhaust. That's why many stations separate the trucks and now their gear from the living quarters.
And again, we're kind of becoming more aware of it, and the department's really doing what they can to become, or at least reduce the amount of bad stuff we're putting in our gear, getting it cleaned well, and then putting it back on ourselves.
According to a 2016 study by the CDC, firefighters have more than double the risk of developing forms of cancer in their lifetime. Some of the most common types of cancer seen in firefighters include mesothelioma, leukemia, lung, bladder, and prostate cancer. Current gear that firefighters wear doesn't address this issue.
Nothing in our gear that Jake talked to you about is specifically, except for our air pack, specifically dealing with cancer. It's for being able to protect us from heat and the fire.
When firefighters return from battling a blaze, they are required to wash their equipment and shower as soon as possible. Burnt plastic and dangerous fiber particles often cover their suits and head to toe, though currently the department relies on only a household washer and dryer to clean their suits.
Coming home and his kids going, "Dad, where was the fire?" And he hadn't been to a fire, but he had been in and out of his gear 4 or 5 times that day, and just the chemicals in his gear was on his skin when he came home the next morning, and it really put a light bulb on his head about all the stuff that we're just sitting in constantly.
Despite heightened concerns about the prevalence of cancer among firefighters, these first responders never waver in their rush to help those in need. Reporting from Fire Station 5, Travis Calvin, KUJH News.
A washing machine designed to clean firefighter suits is scheduled to be discussed in the Lawrence City Commission's 2018 budget. To the Kansas Union, students will vote on a new student fee to renovate the building during elections in April. KUJH reporter Katie Keller talks to one group who is aiming to get students to vote yes.
It has been 32 years since the Kansas Union had a major renovation. This April, KU students have a chance to change that. A referendum to add $50 to the student fee is on the ballot for this year's election. The student group Redo Your You hopes students will see the need for change and vote yes.
Benefit that will be received from a $50 student fee increase is astronomical. Students will be able to come into the union and have better spaces to work within. They'll have better spaces to grow in.
The Kansas Union needs extensive work. Renovations will create new spaces for students and update heating and air conditioning. The current HVAC system is more than 50 years old.
We're having a lot of unnecessary or unexpected repairs. And then the equipment, we have air handling units that are from the 50s. And air handling units have gotten a lot more efficient since 1950 something.
If voted yes, the fee will go into effect in fall of 2019 when construction would begin. Reporting from the University of Kansas, Katie Kelleher, KUJH News.
The elections to vote on the fee are April 13th and 14th. To learn more, go to redoyouru.ku.edu. Last week, the Hispanic American Leadership Organization resigned its seat in Student Senate as an act of protest. KUJH reporter Lauren Davidson is in the newsroom with more on HALO.
That's right, Alex. This morning I spoke with HALO member Constanza Castro, the member who gave her seat up. She told me she did it because of a lack of respect for Hispanic students on campus, specifically coming from Student Senate.
And they don't listen to us, and it's very frustrating because then they use you as the token to say, we're taking care of Hispanic students, there's not a problem. And so by us not being there, they can't say that anymore, and they actually have to face that that's not the reality.
Along with this resignation, HALO provided a list of 6 demands for the Student Senate to meet before they fill the seat again. The list addresses several of HALO's concerns, including President Trump's executive orders and treatment of undocumented students at KU. HALO's president, Judith Guillen, says she's hopeful KU Senate will work with them so HALO can fill the seat again.
We gave them the demands, and they're not extreme demands that they aren't able to do. It would just take them time to communicate to us what they're willing to do and how we can help them to reach that goal.
When I spoke to HALO president earlier, she told me there is a good chance that if these demands aren't met, the seat will remain open the rest of this semester and possibly all of next year. I reached out to Student Senate for comment. They have not replied. Reporting from the newsroom, Lauren Davidson.
The acting vice provost for diversity and equity, Jennifer Hamer, contacted HALO last week and has begun giving suggestions for the next steps of action. Coming up on KUJH News, President Trump claims former President Obama of spying during the election season, and a tornado watch is in effect until 10 p.m. Jacob Asherman will have an update of what to expect. Stay with us.
You're doing great. We're going to try this again, okay?
Okay.
Wheels, pedals, handlebar, brakes. Sit up straight, keep your weight in the center, keep your eyes on the road, hands on the grips, button the seat. If we feel ourselves falling, what do?
Just keep
pedaling. Good girl. Now remember, it's all about balance and steering. Steer with your hands, steer with your body. Steer into the corners and you stay out of trouble. And the bell's your buddy, so go ahead and ding that. All right, you ready? Here we go. Pedal, honey, pedal. There you go, you're a bike rider.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it. While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed ours. Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
My youngest, Addie, was 2.5. She was diagnosed with leukemia. The doctor stopped by and said, well, it is leukemia. And then the next thing she said without even missing a beat was, and here's what we're going to do. We are so blessed and lucky to say that she is extremely healthy. I could not be more grateful for groups like the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. It was that research that let that doctor say it's leukemia, and here's what we're going to do.
It's not always easy being a dad.
Do you have panda asthma too? Does that run in the family?
This is the home of the most priceless kung fu artifacts.
But when you make an effort,
Dad, we're not supposed to touch anything. Oh, sorry.
Go along, son!
it's always worth it.
Whoa! Master!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
I am gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
President Donald Trump signed a new executive order this morning, revising the recent travel ban signed in January. The new order bans immigration from 6 Muslim-majority countries, dropping Iraq from the previous list. The new ban also halts entry of all refugees for 120 days, while the previous order banned Syrian refugees indefinitely. In addition, those with valid green cards or visas are exempt from the ban. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson says the revised ban ensures safety for all Americans.
The State Department will implement the provisions in this order that allow for the admissions of refugees when it is determined they do not pose a risk to the security or welfare of the United States.
The Trump administration is hopeful this revision will be successful. Trump is in the news with former President Barack Obama. Trump is claiming the former president wired Trump Tower during the election season. The president tweeted he found out about the alleged incident on Saturday, saying nothing was found and calling it McCarthyism. The president claims Trump Tower had its wires tapped by Obama during the final 2 weeks of the election season. The FBI is asking the Justice Department to refute Trump's claims on the matter due to the lack of evidence. In a press conference today, Speaker of the House Sean Spicer was asked about the incident and says he's going to let the tweet speak for itself. A spokesman for Obama called any suggestion that he or any White House official ordering surveillance against Trump is simply false. The country of North Korea launched 4 missiles at Japan this morning. The missiles hit Japanese waters but did not reach the coast. Neighboring countries responded to the attack, including South Korea and China. The missile launches violate United Nations Security Council resolution set on North Korea. The attack raises concern about the rapid development of North Korea's missile program, and officials are responding accordingly. Back here in Kansas, it's been cloudy and windy conditions so far. We have Jacob Asherman here with what to expect for tonight. Jacob?
Yeah, Alex, like I said, the first day of meteorological spring was last Monday. You can already see things are getting off to a bang with some severe weather, substantial severe weather threat tonight. But once the severe weather passes through our area, we can expect a cool and calm rest of the week. But to begin, I really just want to highlight all of the advisories in effect for our area. Obviously, the main one is that tornado watch that was just issued a few hours ago. That is in effect until 6 o'clock tonight. But besides that tornado watch, a red flag warning for extreme fire danger is in effect until 6 o'clock tonight. And I'm sure as you felt outside, a strong wind advisory is in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. So if you're planning on doing any bit of driving, you want to be careful, be a little more careful with those strong winds out there. Now, like I said, that's risk of severe weather that has been sitting in our area. You can see Lawrence is right on the dividing line between a slight risk of severe weather and an enhanced risk of severe weather. You can kind of see this enhanced risk runs all the way, well, roughly down I-35. Now, to break this risk down a little bit, really all forms of severe weather are possible. Tornadoes, there is a there is a risk of tornadoes. We can expect a couple, especially if any storms form in the next couple of hours. But of course, we do have a threat for some wind, hail, and flooding. Now, I do have tornadoes shaded a little bit darker because if any storms form in the next hour or so, able to take advantage of this environment of this strong, unstable air that's been sitting over in our area, we could possibly be seeing a strong tornado or two. I don't want to cry wolf, but that certainly is a possibility. Again, I talked about this earlier, but this is the tornado watch that has been issued for our area. You can see it goes all the way from Emporia, all the way to our north along the Missouri-Iowa border. I certainly would not be surprised to see a watch issued to for our neighbors to the south in Chanute. Right now, we are looking for the development of severe thunderstorms, again, from this line all the way to Concordia, south of Wichita. Right now, nothing has formed, although we are expecting development over the next hour or two. So you are going to want to keep a close eye on the weather. We are going to provide updates for anything that does happen. But zooming things out a little bit, you can see regional temperatures upper to mid 70s and even 80 across our area. You can see 80 in Junction City, neighbors to our west, 76 in Topeka, 76 in Kansas City. A little bit cooler to our neighbors to the south in Garnett, 75 degrees. But by tonight, things will cool off a little bit, 66 degrees ahead of these thunderstorms that are going to move through our area by 7 or 8 o'clock tonight. Those are going to cool things off a little bit, and we are expecting some severe weather to push through. Those winds, southwest 25-mile-an-hour winds. It has been windy all day. I do not anticipate that changing tonight. But tomorrow things do cool off behind a cold front that pushes through our area late tonight. It's going to be pleasant and windy, but again, we are going to have those 20-mile-an-hour winds that we've had today, but instead we are going to have them out of the southwest. Now, zooming things out a little bit, looking ahead to our week, once we get past the severe weather today, really we're looking forward to a cool and calm week, 61 degrees on Tuesday before things warm back up again. Wednesday, Thursday, 68 degrees. Wednesday, 70 degrees. Thursday. So once we get past this severe weather, it's going to make for some beautiful baseball weather out there, Sam.
All right, well, thanks, Jacob. Before we get to sports, some breaking news in the KUJH. Police officers are currently responding to an incident at the U.S. Bank on 23rd Street. Police are not releasing any details of the nature responding to the incident at this time, but check back with us at tv.ku.edu online later tonight for more information. Well, turning to weather, great temperatures this weekend in Lawrence, but the wind just was absolutely present, just wouldn't go away.
Yeah, it was great temperature for baseball, but the wind coming in from the outfield just did not make for good playing conditions. But coming up next in sports, we take a look at the top 5 in the final AP men's basketball poll of the regular season. Plus, Frank Mason finished conference with a near triple-double effort in Stillwater on Saturday, and awards are raining in for the men's basketball team. Stay with us.
The earthquakes you see in movies are one thing, but real life is a completely different animal. Just because you can't predict an earthquake doesn't mean that you can't prepare for one. In the event of a real earthquake, you should drop, cover, and hold on. Visit ready.gov/earthquake and practice what to do to keep you and your family safe in the event of a real earthquake. And you'll be seen as a hero by your family and your loved ones.
Visit ready.gov/earthquake today.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Getting that college education? What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else? Or will you dare do something different? Like be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills. The smarts? Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget. That'd be cool. Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself? What are you gonna make of me?
For the second straight year, it seems as if Kansas is poised to be the favorite entering the NCAA tournament. In the final AP poll of the regular season, the Jayhawks appear on the top line for the second straight week, receiving 59 of 65 first-place votes. The Jayhawks are followed by the defending national champion Villanova, and the top 5 is rounded out by 3 top teams, all from the Pacific Coast. Selection Sunday is now just 6 days away and follows the conclusion of Conference Tournament Week. The Kansas basketball team put a wrap on its regular season slate over the weekend when they traveled to face Oklahoma State. Kansas point guard Frank Mason led the way to KU's first win in Stillwater since 2013 as he came close to a triple-double with 27 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds. Kansas finished its schedule 28-3 with a 16-2 record in Big 12 play. On Sunday, the Big 12 Conference announced its yearly awards with Frank Mason listed as Conference Player of the Year, Josh Jackson as Newcomer of the Year, and Kansas coach Bill Self winning Coach of the Year. Up next, the Jayhawks will look to defend a Big 12 tournament championship in Kansas City. Kansas will face either TCU or Oklahoma in the quarterfinal of the Big 12 tournament this Thursday at 1:30 p.m. Kansas coach Bill Self spoke on the vision and mindset of his team as they head into postseason play.
Hopefully the mindset does change in this regard. Hey guys, the finish line is near. You can see the end of the tunnel, so to speak, and so now what are we going to do? We're going to get our extra rest. We're going to take care of our bodies better. We're going to eliminate distractions.
The Jayhawks' first postseason opponent will be determined Wednesday night after the TCU-Oklahoma game in Kansas City. Kansas baseball enjoyed 2 victories in its first home series of the 2017 season. The Jayhawks defeated the Demons of Northwestern State on both Friday and Saturday afternoon, making Kansas head coach Rich Price the winningest skipper in the history of the program.
First off, congratulate Floyd Temple on an unbelievable career, and him and I had a great relationship, and nobody knows how hard this job is more than I do. I mean, the best sport played in the Big 12 Conference is baseball.
The win on Saturday made history and secured the series victory, but on Sunday the Jayhawks did not fare as well. The Demons got the last laugh of the weekend set despite the Jayhawks out-hitting Northwestern State 11-8. Kansas lost its first extra innings game of the season by a score of 7-6 in 10 innings. The Jayhawks will enjoy 2 days off the diamond before Omaha returns to Hoagland Ballpark for the second time this season on Wednesday afternoon. From one diamond to another, the Kansas softball team spent the last week in Orlando, Florida, playing a 6-game set at ESPN's Wide World of Sports. On Sunday, Kansas played its final scheduled game in the Sunshine State against perennial NCAA power James Madison. The Jayhawks were shut out for the first time this season by a score of 5-0. The softball team now returns to Lawrence for a long homestand before conference play. Next up, Kansas will face Wisconsin Green Bay at 6 p.m. this Friday at Rock Chalk Park.
All right, Sam, I don't know if an athlete's diet can include Oreos, but I'm sure there's an exception on National Oreo Day. My favorite cookie, created by the beautiful minds of Nabisco, created the Oreo in 1912 and has gone through a series of names like the Oreo biscuit, the Oreo sandwich, and then the Oreo cream sandwich.
Today there are a variety of Oreo products sold in more than 100 countries. This cookie also sparks one serious debate. Take a look.
You guys have to stop fighting. We're the cops.
Choose your side on Instagram @Oreo.
All right, beautiful commercial from Super Bowl a couple years back. So yeah, a lot of fun there on that set. Well, that'll do it for us here on KUJH News. We'll see you back here on Wednesday.